Okay, Tommy, last night on BBC Three, you were invited to a show called Free Speech. How'd that come about?
I was contacted by a young lady working for the company and asked if I'd come on the show.
What was the information given to you about the show? Had you heard about the show before?
No, I hadn't. I'd never heard of the show. I heard it, and then she just said it'd be talking about racism, Islamophobia. That's it. Yeah.
Did they tell you at any point you'd be on the panel or any point you'd have a judging part?
They said I'd be sitting. They said that there's 4 people already on the panel, but as in the big questions, they said, you know when you've done the big questions? I said, yeah. They said, well, you know you have the front row of the big questions, so like there's 6 or 7 people on the front row. She said, you'll be like that, so you'll be sitting next to them on the front row. I said, okay. And then she said, they said you can bring some people with you to sit with you, yeah, in the audience, which they didn't allow actually when I got there.
Did it at any point feel like it was the Attack Tommy show?
I know, yeah, it was the Attack on the show, wasn't it? It's the girl that set it up. This is what shocked me, yeah. She's been on the phone to me for 3-4 days, yeah, every day, contactable. Straight after that show, her phone's still off. So I actually think she bought a pay-as-you-go phone in order to set me up, to get me on the show, to then throw her phone away. Because it's like, I just think that was a complete setup. It was all staged as a setup.
What was, in your opinion, what was the main topic of the show? There was already mentioned there were some things that couldn't be talked about due to court cases proceeding.
No, there was no topic, was there? It was just shout and slag me.
If it was such a topic as high rated as religious, do you think the panel that they selected was valid?
No, a comedian. Fucking comedian.
I think
it's not a joking matter, is it? You've got a soldier's head just been cut off. You want to talk about these issues, and you've got a comedian on the panel.
From my point of view,
Ireland.
From my point of view, I watched the show, and it was quite clear that you'd be accused of being a racist. In your words, what is a racist?
Someone who's against someone and differentiates between people because of the colour of their skin.
Do you think the EDL has links to racism?
Yes, I think that there are racists in the EDL.
Going forward,
there's racist Metropolitan Police Force. Don't make it a racist organisation. There's golfers in the EDL. It's not golf society. Yeah? So there's racists everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just being realistic. Of course I know there's racists in the EDL. Of course I know there's people who jump on the bandwagon in the EDL. That doesn't deter from our message and the truth from what we're saying. And the issues we're highlighting and the things we're saying are genuine concerns. They need addressing. And you're trying to brush them under the carpet. Still now, after a few weeks after a soldier's head being cut off, all these racial tensions, all these religious tensions, there's an opportunity to discuss these issues on a national TV, and all you want to scream is racist. To shut up and stop the issues being spoke about and actually get somewhere in solving these bloody problems. You just want to shout everyone down, like you've done for 15 years.
Do you think anyone watching the show last night would have taken away any information you gave them, any information you portrayed, any facts, any data you gave out, rather than people calling you a bigot and a racist?
I think people see through the bigot and racist. I think everyone I've been following and everyone I've spoke to, just like, none of them could explain why you're racist. Everyone's saying why. My 5-year-old daughter, yeah, was at home with my wife, and my 5-year-old daughter was saying, why are they all shouting over Daddy? My 5-year-old daughter, why are they all interrupting Daddy? Why won't they? And she doesn't know what we're talking about, and if she's sitting there, standing in the lounge, why are they all shouting over Daddy? 5-year-old kid. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why get me on there? Why ask me to come on if you're not actually going to listen and let us debate these issues?
At any point did it seem like the show was a lynch mob?
It was a lynch mob, wasn't it? It was a lynch mob. But to me, it's like, it's embarrassing, I feel, for them, for journalism in general, right? For these serious issues, and you act that way about it.
Do you not think that last night just shows the whole way the media portrays the EDL, and the whole way that it's very easy to get a crowd to laugh and cheer if you say derogatory things to someone that might not be disliked, someone that might be disliked?
Yeah, well, someone says, let's bomb it, Tommy Robinson, with a bomb and anthrax, and the presenter says, I can understand where you come from with that. Okay? I'm like, what? It's like everything that's wrong in this country was shown last night. That no one's allowed to have a difference of opinion or actually criticise an ideology which should be criticised, because there's many flaws in it, yeah? And there's many bad things that are coming out of the Islamist ideology. And we need to criticise them. We need to understand it. We need to understand how to defeat it. Yeah? But we're not even allowed to talk about it. There's no platform to talk about. The more they try to suppress the voice, the louder the voice is going to get.
We're going to differ from last night's show and try and stick to the topics. You're the head of the EDL. You've even said yourself there are racial links in your group. How did the EDL start?
How did it start? It was born out of passion for our armed forces when they was attacked on a homecoming parade. And to be honest, that was like the final straw, really. There'd been so many things going on prior to that in the town with this same group of Safely Islamist merry mucks running around the town causing mayhem over every faith march, attacking the Jews when they're remembering the Holocaust outside the town hall, just everything. Just inciting and promoting hatred, intolerance. And the more they try to suppress the voice, the louder the voice is going to get.
So the EDL started out of a reaction?
Yeah, a reaction.
So cause?
We are a reaction. You want to stop the EDL? All these governments want to spend all these millions of pounds to stop the EDL? You're not going to stop the EDL, let's stop Militant Islam. So stop spending your money on trying to tackle symptoms of the problem. Deal with the problem.
You started out of a reaction. Where's your focus? Where's your future? It's evolved.
It's evolved, yeah.
What do you want it to be? What would be the last thing people say about the EDL that you'd want?
Just want there to be a platform and a voice given to the people who feel the way we feel, to the people who want to be able to stand up and just openly say, there's a serious problem in this country, you need to address it, you need to address this, and name all the issues you want to address without being called a racist. It's so criminal, that way that word's been used to the true victims of racial incidents. Chris Donaldson, Stephen Lodge, the true victims of racism, yeah? And they use the word like that.
They get you on these shows, on these chat shows, these talk shows a lot to talk about the EDL, and it feels like they attack you personally. Would you say you're the best person to represent the EDL going forward?
To be honest, when I wore a mask for the first year and hid my name, it's because I didn't see myself as the right person to do this. I thought someone else would come along that hasn't got a checkered history. Yeah? And it's sad. What country, what's the state we're living in when you have to get an ex-con, like they keep saying, a working class man who has made mistakes in his life, when he's become the voice that's getting on all these talk shows to tell people how the working class community is feeling, when all the people who are educated in a way to represent us are not representing us. That's the situation we're in. And do I feel I'm the right person to do it? I understand it. I haven't gone to university and read books about multiculturalism. I'm born in Luton. Yeah? I've been brought up with it. I know it. I mean, I live it.
There was an interesting point brought up yesterday saying, should you get into politics? Is the EDL a politic community? What's your response to that?
No. I don't.
Do you think it's an interesting point?
I think the EDL would be more effective as a pressure group. I think that there'll come a time when, I don't think they'll ever give us kudos for it. I don't want kudos, I'm not here for a pat on the back. I'm here to get the issues tackled. Yeah? Grooming is being tackled because of the EDL. All these issues will be tackled because we will continue to highlight them and smash them in the world's face across the country, in town centres, in media, every talk show, every time I get an opportunity, I'll talk about these issues that need to be addressed. Now, behind closed doors and corridors up and down this country, they'll be sitting around having meetings about how they address these issues to stop the support for the EDL. That's what they'll do. And that's why I think it's better to work that. We become a little political party, they'll just do everything they can, infiltration, spend millions. They're doing it now, aren't they, to UKIP, where they're trying to shut down. That's what they'll do, is attack that. And the same way they attack the EDL, but I think everyone's underestimated the English Defence League. And for years, I remember when we first started, they said, they've gone in 6 months, bored football hooligans. But look where we are now.
Do you think one of the strongest points the EDL has is, with topics raised in politics, the common man, the average Joe, says quite often he can't relate to his MP, he can't relate to people in politics. Do you think one of the topics and strongest points you have is you feel like you can relate to working class people?
Yeah, and you can ask me anything, I'll tell you the honest answer. Anything you want. Anything anyone wants to ask me. I'll just tell you the truth. You want to ask me anything, you ask a politician, they'll answer the question. You never get a straight answer.
So why do you feel like you haven't got a voice? Like you said that things like grooming gangs are being tackled because of the EDL. So surely that would indicate you do have a voice.
Well, it's indicated working. It's indicated it's working. But they didn't tackle them for 20 years. There's many issues like that. It's like grooming, that's just one symptom. There's hundreds of these symptoms all across the country. English people have been attacked since, we're going on about this hate crime here. There's a church smashed up last week, smashed to pieces. right, last week. You've had a religious teacher in East London who was teaching Muslim girls. They tried to kill him. You've had a vicar in a church. They went into the church and kicked the shit out of him in the church. Yeah? No one talks about these things. In the last week, you've had a 53-year-old man racially attacked and beaten with a fractured skull in Blackburn. You've had another man in Bolton battered to shit as well. You've had some lads come out of a mosque. They come out of a mosque, yeah, this last month. Can you imagine anyone coming out of a church and attacking someone outside the church? It just wouldn't happen, right? They've come out of a mosque and they've attacked a girl in the car with a boy and they started battering him. Then you've had, everyone's seen the video in Ashton. You've had kids waiting at a bus stop, young kids, a 13-year-old, English kids, and a group of Muslims come over with cricket bats, and these boys are with girls. They're sitting at a bus stop with girls, yeah? And they come over and tell them they're in a Muslim area, and they have to leave. And then it kicks off, and they start hitting them with a cricket bat. They hit one of the girls, yeah? Could you imagine, just everyone imagine, that right now where we're at the minute, if there was a video of young Muslim boys and young Muslim girls with headscarves on, at a bus stop, and a load of English lads come over and just start kicking the shit out of them. And all you can hear is the horrifying screams of a desperate young girl. Could you imagine what would happen? Could you imagine it would be plastered all over the place? David Cameron would be talking about it. Everyone would be talking about it. Now, what's happened with these kids? They're letting the Muslims go. They're letting them go. No. That's what's wrong. Right. And when you think about there's only 5% of this country is Muslim, look how many attacks I can tell you about. I can name hundreds. I can name kids that have been murdered, beaten. I can name you 50 Stephen Lawrences. And there's 5% Muslim. How is that? How is that? Where is this horrific racial murder against a Muslim? Tell me. Tell me one. Tell me one that the 95% of the country's committed.
Okay, Tommy, can you run us on a day-to-day life of you, starting with yesterday?
Yesterday, I got up at 8 o'clock. I was picked up and taken to LBC studio in Leicester Square. I had to get there I was there for 9 o'clock. I done an interview in Leicester Square, and then I got the train back to Luton, where I got my car and I drove to Sunderland.
In the interview yesterday, what was the feeling you got when you left?
LBC, yeah, it was fair.
Fair point.
Fair point. Fair point.
Would you be invited back, do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't anything like the BBC. The host wasn't in any way have an agenda. It was just like, let's hear what the problems are. And it was me and the fella from Tell Mama, Fiaz McGow or something. And he was actually really sound as well. But I think I'm not sure if that's just because he's been hammered, had his funding taken, and he knows he's on his way out. That he's now trying to claim back some credibility somehow. You know what I mean?
LBC's a broadcasting phone-in show. What was the feeling of the phone-ins?
There wasn't a phone-in. See, that goes out tomorrow morning, so it's a half hour of just me, the host, and this Fiaz McGow just discussing issues. You know, like I say, the only way you'll solve this problem is with dialogue. Yeah? The only way it's going to be sorted with dialogue. Yeah? But no one wants dialogue. Everyone wants to pretend they want dialogue. And all these people want to pretend that they want to sit around tables when they don't. They don't. I asked many Luton Muslims to walk with us. I've asked them to work with us against these extremists. I've asked them to publicly come out on the streets with us and do this work against them. They won't do it. So yesterday, if they're stepping forward now and they're saying they want to talk, we're getting something.
After the radio show?
After the radio show, I had I'm getting so fat as well with this, because I don't get paid for any of this, yeah. So I just think, you know what? Whenever I'm on the phone yesterday and they're saying, yeah, you got to do this interview. I said, well, I want a meal at Goodman's. Goodman's is the best steakhouse in Mayfair. I'm like, that's it. That's the deal. Yeah, and I ain't budging for it yet. So I ended up yesterday having a breakfast. I ended up yesterday having a breakfast, and I ended up everywhere I go. Then that's what I said. And I went up to then I went up to Sunderland. I got to Sunderland, booked into the Ramada. Then got taken to the studio. I got taken, they were worried about security at the studio, so I was literally only allowed to turn up just before I went on. So I had no, like everyone else was there mingling before and doing the thing, and getting told what's going on. I was like, boom, in there, bang, sit there.
Is that a disadvantage for you, don't you think?
So I don't need any of it. It don't matter to me. I've got, what I say is the truth, so it doesn't matter what anyone questions me about or anything. Don't matter.
Surely you must be gutted that sometimes
it's unfair. It is unfair.
It's taken away from your message when you're called a racist.
Yeah, it is, but that's why they do it.
So how can you try and get rid of that racism tag and actually get your message? Because
I don't need to get rid of the racism tag. What I need to do is people see through that what they're saying is just absolute rubbish and there's no substance to it. When people start seeing that, why are you calling him a racist? That's all everyone's saying today. Why are you calling him a racist? What's the problem? Why just because he's saying, am I racist for being against Sharia law, against this female genital mutilation, against terrorism, against Islamism, against the spread of all this intolerance? How is that racist? And to be honest, I haven't got a racist bone in my body. I haven't. I genuinely haven't. And that's anyone who spends time here, anyone who knows me from Luton, anyone who knows me, even the Muslims know it in Luton. I mean, born and bred in Luton Town. It's the mixture of my friends. I don't know hardly any people whose parents are English.
So radio show in the morning.
So radio show in the morning, up to Sunderland, done the show, back to the hotel, paying the expenses, meal again, get my licence fee back and then wrongings, and then yeah, that's it.
Do you feel like a celebrity? All these radio shows, TV shows?
I feel like what?
A celebrity?
No, I don't get any benefits from celebrity, do I? Do I look like a celebrity? Yes, sir. Do I get any, like, you know what I mean? I don't get anything that's good from it.
What would you say to people that say that you don't believe in the point, you actually just like the fame and the notoriety?
Come and see my wife, man. Come and speak to my family. I mean, it's like, I don't want to be doing this. I so wish someone else would sit here. I so wish. And I could be the person sitting there thinking, yeah, go on, mate, yeah, you're saying what you're saying. Yeah, someone's actually doing it. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do it.
Do you feel, I've watched a lot of tape, I've watched you quite a lot. Do you feel that sometimes you have valid points and you try and put them across the best you can? And then sometimes when you can be personally attacked and you can be ganged up on, when you try and let your hair down and you try and lose off a bit of steam, you find yourself in situations that the media love to scrutinise against you. There's people there with cameras at the wrong moments, at the wrong times, that sometimes take away credit from your points.
Well, you mean acting like a pissed up clown?
Yeah.
Well, that was, I've said this, man, you know, like prior to going to jail, I was drinking a lot, man, and if I'm honest, and it actually changed the person I was. And I didn't realise it changed the person I was until I went to jail. And I had 18 weeks of solitary confinement away from my family, and I could actually evaluate everything and think, fucking hell, I didn't even recognise the person I ended up becoming. And that was probably how I was dealing with the stresses and all that from this. Whereas I didn't actually think I was getting the stresses. But my way of doing it was just going out and getting bladdered, getting off my head. You know what I mean? So at that time, when the cameras have had that, do you know what I mean? If you've followed me undercover for a year and you've got me from throwing a coin, get over it. You know what I mean? It's Luton Town Centre, everyone throws coins. So that's it. But that was then. And I remember someone said to me, a lad said to me actually, I was arguing with him actually, and he said, your message, man, he's ex-serviceman. He said, your message is so right, and you're not taking it serious, yeah? It's about a year ago. And I said, I'm not changing. What should I change? I remember saying it, this is me, I'm not changing at all who I am. This is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I act, etc. etc. But then I started, I'm at the point now, since going away, where I've only, as I said, I've stopped drinking, stopped going out, I'm taking it, dedicated to it, and the message is so serious, especially at the minute, it is so important that I can't, I think I let myself down for the last few years, the way I've acted, many times.
So it would be fair to say that sometimes you talk now and you beat yourself up afterwards, you think that there's better ways to come across?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I've made mistakes, you know what I mean? I've made loads of mistakes.
Do you ever feel threatened against the people that you're debating with? Do you feel that they've got more knowledge, they've got a higher vocabulary?
No, none of them have. No, they don't understand it. All the people I'm debating with have gone to university and they live in a village, in a lovely little suburb. So, you know what I'm talking about? Simple. They've got nothing experience-wise. None of them. All these people head of this and all these task forces. I mean, I was talking to one and I said, where are you from, mate? Exeter. 99.9% white Christian. Not in a mosque there. And you're telling me about my culture. Get away, mate. Where is the person who's grown up amongst it? Where is the people who are telling you, all these people telling us how great it is? I mean, well, yeah, you don't live in Luton. I mean, your kid ain't a minority of Muslims in school, are they? And you're telling me how great it is.
Do you honestly believe that Luton is the blueprint of how this country's going?
It is the blueprint for every town and city in this country. It's the blueprint. And every single town, city, country is going to be like it. And they're going to get worse and worse and worse. More segregated, more segregated. More divided, more divided. The FA last week, see the FA had a Muslim football tournament. What? It's apartheid. Again, what are you doing?
What would you say to people that say, if you raise these issues, that you could be forcing them to segregate themselves, you could be forcing them to fear outsiders and them to band together for security?
Well, no, because it's like that now. We've been around 4 years. Prior to 4 years ago, it was just like the same. It's just as bad. Every town, city with a Muslim community is segregated to the Muslim community and the non-Muslim community. That's how it is. You come to Luton, everyone else is integrated. You go to Luton, you go to Marshall, you go to the estates, it's whites, blacks, everyone's integrated. You don't see gangs of one colour, one race. You don't see it. Even the Polish come in now and are integrated within 2 years of a bit of problems. Yeah, the first 2 years when they're coming here, problems in the schools, problems in the community. Now, no problems.
Would it be fair to say that because the EDL...
And these are third generation that are struggling, that don't want to integrate.
Would it be fair to say, because the EDL is one of the main forces of banging this topic and banging this point, that there has been positive outcomes because of it in the police force, in arrests, and because of public awareness in the media, where there might not have been before?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's bringing these issues to the forefront. They're dealing with them. They're already changing their whole strategy across how they deal with the whole country over the issues we're bringing up. The working class community, the non-Muslim working class community, they're already funding millions of pounds because they know they've neglected it. That's already happening. They're already doing it in Luton. I've had meetings with the council. I had sit-down meetings with the council. At the start, they said, tell us what's wrong. I told them a whole list of things. Yeah, they called us in a year later, show us how they're addressing them, which was to do with funding for skin working class non-Muslim estates and all these different things they're setting up, and all these different community things they're setting up. They weren't doing that. Okay, it was going like that. Now there's a pushback for fair, equal playing field. That's all people want. It's a fair, equal playing field.
But surely you must feel like last night, and this is what I've noticed a lot, obviously from the time that we spent filming and whatever, a lot of people agree with a lot of your points, and you could probably spout up hundreds of points about why you oppose Islam. But as was seen yesterday, someone shouts racist and that's your points out the window, basically.
That's why they do it.
But that must feel frustrating, like, surely you must hate that inside. And what can be done to stop that? And even though, yeah, fair enough, you might not lose the racism label, what can you do to get your point across in a more effective way than people just shouting racist, discrediting you, and that's it?
All we have to do, all I can do is stay true to our word, which is exactly what we stand for and continue to stand for it.
But what about
and the
publicly
truth
outing, not racist, in your opinion?
I have.
But do you think you do that enough?
Yeah. I mean, I actually bang them out. Well, who else does that?
Talking about...
All these people calling me a racist, which one of you's knocked a Nazi out? You know what I mean? And what the hell's going on?
Talking about racism, it's quite clear that you get a lot of threats from outside, from the Islamic community, and people that discuss it with your own views.
I'll read some of these out here, but when I read it, I feel sick, thinking someone's saying about my kids. And think about how when my wife reads it, you know what I mean? And my family read it, and my mum reads it, and they're reading all these things like... And they talk about racial, religious, ugly white bastards, that's all I see when I walk out in the morning, you white filths. You see today on the Daily Mail, a news article where a lad's been given 4 months in jail because he took a picture of himself with a pretend gun when Lee Rigby was killed. And he said, I'm going to inflict insane violence on Muslims.
Right. And was he linked to the EDL?
I think so, yeah.
Right, so what do you think about that?
I think that when Lee Rigby's been killed, he's acted in it's not right what he said, it's not right what he's done, and he's got aggressive and completely angry and emotional upset in that it was 4 or 5 hours after the killing.
Yeah. But that doesn't justify it.
It doesn't justify it at all, no. No, it's wrong. But then, I saw you on the news, I want you to take a very good look at this knife, because it's going to go through your throat. Yeah? Now, that's as bad, but that's actually specifically telling me he's going to do me. Well, this bloke didn't actually specifically name anyone. Yeah? No arrest. None of these have warranted an arrest. I want to stomp on your kid's head. Tommy, I'm going to get your family, I'm going to burn their faces and cut their heads off.
Show that to the camera quickly.
Watch your time's coming, you fucking honky. Racism. Death threats.
So when you're a victim of racism, why do you think people are saying that you're racist?
Well, I know what they're saying. Because they have no argument or substance to debate the issues. They don't want to accept there's genuine issues. They don't want to deal with the issues. They're terrified of even trying to tackle the issues.
Yeah.
So instead, racist.
So you said yourself that it's difficult for you to read some of them. So how does it feel to be labelled a racist on the one hand and then the victim of racism on the other?
Yeah, well, we're the victims twice, all the time. So it's like, it's everything that's wrong in this country. We talk about, you see that audience last night, that panel last night, the whole panel, the audience, all those people in that room, they are, that attitude and that way of thinking, only 30% of people in this country vote, yeah, and are interested in politics. They're the reason why. That's it. There's a 70% market of people that feel the way we feel, but are just alienated by morons like that. Now, they're the reason, they're responsible for that racist. Anyone who has a difference of opinion is a racist. If someone had asked me a time last night, and I said at 7 o'clock, there's a racist. Everything, as soon as I moved, it was like, racist. And not one person can answer why I'm racist, what I'm actually saying that's wrong. Just tell me what I'm saying is wrong. Tell me what's incorrect. Now, they've got a meeting, their whole programme is about talking about racism and that, yeah? And they should have bringing up proper issues that need to be debated. They've got a comedian on the panel. Serious issues about racism and these issues that are in the country.
Yeah.
And they have a comedian on the panel. They won't have me on the panel.
Yeah.
And
we'll come to free speech, but what are the police actually doing about these complaints? What have they said that they're going to do?
Well, now, only because I'm shaming them into it, only because I'm retweeting them and putting them up and everyone's complaining to Bedfordshire Police, only because I'm forcing them to do something, they said they're going to look into it. I can't wait to see Tommy Robinson beheaded at Kenilworth Road. If I was going to get beheaded anywhere, I want it to be at Kenilworth Road. Okay?
Oh, where's that?
Luton Townsville Stadium. Tommy, I see you all the time. Watch your back. I'm coming for your wife and your kids. Some of them, you honky dirty chav. I'm going to kill your mum and light your house on fire, you white prick. I'm going to chop up your kids and sell them to the Chinese shop, hopefully burn alive. I've got hundreds of these, yeah? I get these on a daily basis. Now, under the Communications Act, people are getting arrested for calling someone black, okay? That's it, people are getting arrested. Someone says boo to Sami Yaqub, and their door gets kicked in within 24 hours. This is the two-tier system that the whole country and now the whole world is viewing of Britain. This is what everyone's seeing, that nothing's being done. I've been attacked on national TV, on Channel 4. The man who attacks me on Channel 4, he's not even arrested. He's not even arrested. What's going on? You can't make it up. Everyone says to me, did he ever get arrested? No, he didn't. The police did not arrest him. And then you've got, I was attacked, beaten up. I'm trying to get a solicitor to get CCTV footage, because what it will show is me walking down the road and getting rushed across from the other side of the road by men who are supposed to be working on a doorman and attacking me and beat me on the floor. The police turn up, I'm arrested, yeah? Then when they see the CCTV, they let me go. Then I say, because everyone says I wanted their names anyway, so then I say, all right, I'll give a statement, I'll press charges. Yeah? I wanted to get their names. And then the CPS say we won't pursue it. Yeah, what do you want? They're actually leaving it a free rein. They're actually saying it's okay to threaten to kill your kids, it's okay for you to kill your wife, and it's okay to smack them in the face, and it's okay to attack him, because nothing's going to get done.
Because people that are watching this will think that this is sort of a fabrication, because they won't believe that the police have failed to do anything about it. Why do you think
they can see they've failed to do it.
But why do you think that they've waited so long before they've even agreed to do anything about it? And Saif al-Islam, for example, you mentioned Saif al-Islam, why do you think he was not prosecuted? The evidence was there.
No, I know. They don't get done. They don't get done.
But obviously, when we spoke to
it's
police
like,
and we asked if we could film, they said that they didn't want to have, and this is a direct quote from them, they didn't want to have any part in publicity for you, indicating that that's because you're a troublemaker. So do you think that's got anything to do with them not investigating threats?
No, because there's threats not just against me like this. There's many extremist things going on across the country where they're not tackling them or arresting them or doing anything against them for fear of upsetting Islam.
But do you feel like the police kind of think, well, you brought this on yourself?
Like that lady said last night. What's her name? Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah, I'm still waiting for your answer as to how I'm racist. But do I think she actually said it's justified that for people threatening to chop kids' heads off? Well, you deserve it. You're a racist bigot. But she can't tell me why I'm a racist bigot. But I deserve to have my kids' heads threats to kill my kids every day. Do you know what I mean? Imagine threats to kill Muslim kids every day. Imagine putting it on the other shoe. Imagine all these things getting said to Muslims every day. There'd be outcry. All this hate crime. Tell Mama would be fucking writing a report and getting £500,000 off the government for it.
Yeah. Going back to the threats, are you afraid?
Of course I'm afraid. Of course I'm afraid.
How do you live with the fear every day?
I have to live with it, no. It's like, what do I do? What can I do? I live with it in the sense that my wife and children. I don't go out with them in public. I can't walk through that. I can't walk out there with my kids. Do you know what I mean? In Luton, I can't do it.
If someone's watching this at home and you want them to understand how you're afraid, why is it then you still hold the mantle of the EDL leader? Why is it you take on that burden if these threats are real and if you are that afraid in your life?
Because I'm as afraid for what's going to happen in 30 years. I'm as afraid. I'd rather take that burden than my son walk that burden. And this ain't about me or my kids. This is about the next generation of kids. It's about everyone's kids. It's about them stupid idiots on that panel's kids. And all them clowns in the audience's kids. Which they seem to miss the point. That I don't want to leave my kids split up pieces. And that's what we're doing. Burying our heads and letting it get worse and worse and worse and adding to the problem and adding to the problem when it's going to be inevitable that you're not going to be able to even deal with the problem soon.
Do you feel that because of the level of acceptance in Britain, and because Britain's so proud to be such an accepted nature, that perhaps it's gone too far the other way, and perhaps putting your head up through the sand and saying, I don't think this is right, goes against the complete nature of the country?
Yeah, no, I think it's just political correctness. Like this, for example.
So,
I spoke last night, tried to raise the issue, female genital mutilation. Yeah? Okay? 20,000 girls a year having their clits cut off so they don't enjoy sex. Okay? That British girls, not one person's ever been prosecuted in this country. Not one parent who are doing it, facilitating it, allowing it. And the reason why is all them idiots in that audience and all them people on the panel. Yeah? Because the people who should be tackling this are fearful of being called a racist. Now this is a report from the International Development Select Committee. They've been paid to do this report. We've been saying this for 4 years. Right? We've been telling you girls are getting their clips cut off, no one's doing anything about it. You can see videos of it online. It's happening across this country. Why is no one protecting these kids? Why are social services not doing their job? The same way they didn't with the grooming. Why cultural sensitivity? You're allowing kids to get raped and have their clips cut off for cultural sensitivity. Now, I said it, we've been tiptoeing around these issues and walking on eggshells, and right now, where we're at, we need to start stamping on people's feet. It's not the time for tiptoeing. You need to change it. Everything needs to change. And it's those people in that yesterday, all those people that are supposed to somehow represent a mixture of people's opinions across Britain. You know what I mean? And when they get you on there like that, I'm sorry, but I've watched it back. The fascists were them. Okay? You can't. I'm not a racist because you call me a racist. I'm not a bigot because you call me a bigot. You have to give me why I am. You have to have some substance to your argument, which none of you have got. And then you have what's his name? What's that fella's name? The black lad?
It's gone nice, all right.
See, irrelevant. I don't even know who he is, but the geezer who sounds like he swallowed the dictionary, right? Talking in a completely different language than anyone else at home can understand. It's like, that's the problem with these political shows, usually, is that no one wants to watch them or listen to them from working class communities, because we're all talking about things that don't affect you. And then when they get you on, it's like, if I wasn't on there last night, all they're going to have is all these people saying how great everything is. In Denmark, it's Somalians. And in France, it's Algerians. And in Sweden, it's Iraqis. Yeah. The common denominator? Islam. The ideology that does not want to integrate or assimilate. It wants its own culture, it wants its own laws, it wants to enforce its way of life on us. Now, when you think about what's happening in Sweden recently, burning, it ain't been on our news, has it? Muslims are destroying Stockholm, setting fire to it, attacking police. Yeah? They're given safe haven in this country. They're given a beautiful country like Sweden. They're given welfare. They're given work. They're given education, hospitals, and they burn the place. And this is what's going on. They've done the same in France, in Paris. Okay, it's Muslims that are doing it.
I think
it's wrong.
We've also pointed out factions of the EDL that you're not happy with.
Yeah.
We've just pointed out that there's factions of Muslims that the ones you have the issue with, the ones that practice.
So when you look at what I say, yeah, I actually say I talk about different sects. I obviously go out my way. When people talk about the English defence league, when Muslims like that council last night, 1,500 fucks. What? You stereotype every single man and woman in that group. Mothers, nans, ex-servicemen, serving servicemen, fucks, drunk, louts. Politicians do it on a daily basis. David Cameron, there's none sicker than the EDL. You don't dare say that about anything to do with Islam or Muslims. What do you mean there's none sicker than EDL? What about the geezers that are chopping Levy's head off? What do you mean there's none sicker? Do you know when he said that? I was like, where is he? I was like trying to find out where he was. Trying to find out where he'd be, so I can go confront him over it. Say, how dare you say that? How dare you say that? What about all these? I meet the EDL. I meet them. Great people, hard-working people, some of the best people I've ever met in my life. Women, men. Do you know what I mean? It's a community of people that are scared, and you want to just call them all sick.
With this same point and this same anger, I'd like if we could switch it, and we could look at different factions inside Islam, and we've already pointed out the ones that you feel like you're against. What would you say to the ones that you feel get misrepresented, the ones that are here?
I apologise to them as well. Ahmadiyya's, I say things. I think as a movement, yeah, we have to work where we have to think what we want to do and where we're going to go, yeah, and what we actually want to bring about, and solve the problems. I don't think shouting Allah, Allah, who the fuck is Allah? It's going to solve the problems anyway. Because what you're going to do is you see these Ahmadiyyas, which are out selling poppies and out supporting our troops, and are really, really great people raising charity money and doing all this hard work, and actually don't cause any problem at all. Yeah, then we're pissing them off. And we're actually pushing them towards these other fucking lunatics with their big beards and fucking pyjamas. So
they're a victim as well.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah.
Because one of the worst things that happened is stereotypes.
Yeah.
The same way we've just discussed.
I'm guilty. Yeah, I don't deny it. You know what I don't deny it all. And at the same time, it's like that's education even for me because I hadn't heard of Ahmadiyas prior to this. So the more I look into certain things, the more I learn about it, the more. But then I see Ahmadiyya's not even allowed to go to Mecca. So that's fascism. Yeah, they're not even allowed to go to Mecca. Then I see a mosque application up in the Midlands where there's 900 signatures against a mosque. Yeah, 850 of them are Muslim because they don't want an Ahmadiyya mosque. So they don't want certain people building mosques. But when we say we don't want a mosque or members of our community, you're racist. You're racist.
Cool. Saturday, what's going on Saturday?
Saturday, basically, loads of lads were contacting saying something's got to be done, something's got to be done. Now the same, yeah. If something isn't organised, where people can vent their frustrations, what you'll get is 40, 50, 60 lads turn up with balaclavas on wanting to kick off and go smash into some things, yeah? That's what's going to happen, yeah? So that's what we try and give the platform. To say, here, listen, everyone's angry, so what we'll do is we'll do a peaceful walk, yeah? But still we'll get condemned, still we'll get abused. And then the point is, these kids were told this is a Muslim area. Now, do you know how many, Joe, that was caught on camera, yeah, that was caught on camera. Right? Do you know how many times that's going on? When you actually know people who live in these towns and cities, and you're talking to people on a daily basis, every time I go out, think you got battered by a load of Pakistanis, this happened, everywhere you go. So if you drew the dot to dots on all these attacks, which you won't be able to because the government makes sure the statistics ain't there, it's all hidden, yeah? With the word Asian, and you can't get the Freedom of Information Act, so they just don't send them back to you, or they say you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, that's what they do. They're trying to hide it. You can't keep hiding it. You have to address it. You have to address it because soon, something's going to happen in this country where you see at that bus stop, a little girl's going to get killed or something in a violent attack like that, and this country's going to go off. The next innocent victim is going to go off. And that's not us saying we want it to go off. We're saying you've got to solve this problem. You've got to solve the intolerance that these young Pakistani lads are getting put in their head by these imams, where 95% of them don't speak English as a first language, and in 90% of the mosques in this country, a British Muslim has not got any control. Okay? So then we've got tribalistic Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Islam, tribal forms being promoted, which is intolerance to women, and certainly intolerance to our women. So then you have this attitude bred that our women are filth and scum, and that it's okay to give them a bitch slap every now and then. When it's not. It's not. And that's what's going on. And no one's standing up for our women. Who's talking out for our women? Who's talking up for the girls? The young girls that are scared. The mothers that have got the kids that are scared to go out of their houses. Who's talking up for them? Everyone just wants to paint it up and brush it up, like Jack Straw when he said that. They want to. No, they're talking like it's statistics. It's someone's fucking daughter. You're talking about someone's daughter who's been groomed and raped and pimped, and you want to make it like it's like a little statistic, like it don't fucking matter, because it's not their daughter. I've sat with families. That's the thing. I've sat with families who sit there crying their eyes out, man. So many of them, even in Luton, crying their eyes out. Don't know where to turn, what to do. It's not happening to Muslims.
So why is the other right place to turn, and what are you looking to achieve from Saturday?
From Saturday?
Yeah.
Give those people, well, we're looking to achieve hopefully the police. We'll contact the police today, say, you issue a statement saying this was a religious attack, yeah, and you're going to treat it like one, okay, and the full force of the law, like you do every time anything happens to a Muslim, like you stand there and get the head of the Metropolitan Police Force stand on TV saying, we will get these people. Well, you sort this out. You get these Muslims that religiously attack these kids, and you treat it as a religious and racial crime. But you won't, will you? I've just heard today, I spoke to the kid's dad. They reckon they're going to give 5 of them cautions. And cautions?
So what would you want to see happen to them?
I'd like to see him charged for religious hatred, religious crime. I'd like to see him stuck in prison.
You said a caution.
They should be in jail. They've attacked Those kids, because they're English, on the streets of an English city, this is happening every day. Those young boys and girls, which are standing at a bus stop minding their own business, have had their heads kicked in with a cricket bat, in front of young girls screaming their eyes out, crying and petrified, because they're English. What's going on?
Are you scared that this is what's going to happen throughout the country?
What's going to happen throughout the country? It's already happening. They've been doing this for years. Doing it for years. The amount of victims I can pick up. Doing it for years. Now, unless you tackle why they're doing it, why they've got that attitude that they feel to walk over the road and say, get out of our area. What has bred that intolerance? What has made them like that? Because Sikhs won't walk over the road and do that. Sikhs wouldn't do that. Okay, you can go to Southall, you can go to a Sikh area, Birmingham, they wouldn't do that. So why are they doing that across the country? What is the problem? And no one wants to talk about it.
Why do you think they're doing it?
Well, I know why they're doing it. Intolerance of the infidel. They're brought up to believe they're superior, that we're pigs, we're swine, filth, cattle. You see it all, it's all in there, it's all in the ideology. So unless their leaders start trying to reform that and actually say, no, this is not right, we're all equal, okay? We're not better than these non-Muslims, we're all equal. If I teach my children they're better than black children, yeah, that's fascism. That's fascism. Muslims are all being taught they're better than non-Muslims. They're all being taught. Everyone was shocked when Anjem Choudhury says Lee Rigby's going to be burning in hellfire. They're all being taught that we're all going to hellfire. We're all burning in hellfire. We're irrelevant. We're filth. That's the problem that is embedded in your ideology. So until the Muslim leaders, and I heard that mogul say on the radio, they have to mould British Islam, yeah? And they're not doing it because we've still got this intolerant Islam.
Is there anything else you want to add about Saturday? We've got quite a lot of stuff throughout the room. So.
That's Saturday. No,
What about anything else?
just want to know off that. What's her name? Mrs. Khan. How I'm racist. And Miss Khan, the people that I oppose, yeah, would slap you for not covering your hair. That's it. They're the people I oppose. I don't care if a woman wears a hijab. You know what I mean? I'm against a burqa. I still hold the door open for a woman wearing one. You know what I mean? You just want to pretend to make out that everything, oh, you're this extremist and put me in the same bracket as Anjem Choudhury. How does that wash? It doesn't wash.
Anyone watching this, explain to them who you are, what you're afraid of, and what you want the future to be.
I'm a short, fat lad from Luton.
Without the comic value. Don't hide behind the confidence of the comic.
No.
You've got valid points,
Look,
you've
see,
got valid fears.
Fears are genuine fears, yeah? This ain't a joke, man. 6 people plan to blow us up, kill us. Inevitably, see these threats, like, I do give a tough face to it and say, I think, you know what I mean, lad it on. But at the same time, I've got 3 kids, man. I've got a wife, I've got a family, and I am scared of the outcome. I'm scared of everything to do with where it's going, inevitably. Where do I think it's going to go for me? In a coffin. Because the government ain't protecting us, the police ain't protecting me, they're not protecting me. I don't feel safe. Do you think I feel secure? Every time I hear a noise, I'm up at the window at night, ready. Do you mean that's not a way to live my life? Why am I having to live like that? Why do I have to live that life? Why is my wife having to live that life? What? Because I want what's right for the country. Because that's what I want. I want what's right for this country. And Sharia and Islamism ain't. Simple. And that's it. And I don't know. I fear for my kids, what it's going to be like for them. Even if I don't get killed, I fear for them having to walk the walk that I'm having to walk. Because they're my kids. So I've got all of this.
Yep.
I'd like to thank Tom, and we'll see you very soon.